Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, and I'm so glad you could join me today. I'm Jill the Wandering Stamper, and today we are going to make some cards with the beautiful country flower stamp set, the coordinating dies, and oh my gosh, the country lace paper. Beautiful paper. So we are going to be using those products today to make a really cute pop-up easel card. This is a really unique fun fold that is easy to make, but it's really so kind of unique and eye-popping that people are going to just be completely wowed that you sent them a card with this fold. So I'm going to take a moment to turn the camera down so we can get started and I can show you how to make this really cool card. Thanks for joining me today. First of all, let's check out this paper. Look how pretty this country lace paper is. This is 12 by 12 paper, and it's just got this beautiful paisley design in it. There's peach and white, beige, gray, navy, boho blue, super pretty. And then on the back, some really great backgrounds as well. So you've got 12 sheets of wow, 2 sheets of every design, and so you basically get 12 designs because they're double-sided. So this paper is great for masculine cards, all occasion cards, birthday cards, feminine cards. It's just really versatile. So I love this paper. So we're going to be using this paper as well as the stylish shaped dies. And here is the Country Flowers stamp set. Oh, it's so pretty. It's got these kind of it says flower market. It's got some great sayings. And then I love this little tea kettle and this kind of milk bucket or whatever this is. And then it's got some beautiful flowers, this stool. And then the dies are super cool because they cut everything out, but also there's a die in here that will make this a smaller, or it'll cut out a smaller bucket, or you could layer a piece onto this bigger bucket. So that's kind of a neat little versatile die. There's a little lid for the teapot, which I love, and you could also use the lid on the bucket. And then it's got all of these flowers. So this is a really great die set to go with it. They really thought it out well. So I'm really happy with it. And of course I have the entire suite. So I also have the birdhouse stamps that we used a week or so ago and a couple of weeks ago, and the paper that goes with that. So all of the coordinating suite products of those 2 stamp sets are just gorgeous together. So let me get started and show you how to make this card. So first of all, let me show you what we're making. So this is the pop-up easel card. So the card lays flat to go into the envelope, but then when the recipient gets it out, we've put some well-placed little embellishments to hold each of the pieces up so that when the person opens the card, it stands on the counter or the table or whatever, so it's completely elevated. How cool is that? And then each of these little panels, the card opens up. There's plenty of room to write. Fun to display. Like I said, each little piece, it doesn't work so well when I'm holding it in my hand, but each little piece goes on its own little coordinating gem, and then it sits up perfectly to display. So super, super cute. And of course it fits in a regular envelope because it folds flat. So that's what we're making. Let me pull my cart over here and we will get started with it. So let me grab my paper cutter. This is a pretty easy card to make. Once you know how to do it, you can make lots and lots of these. So we're going to start out with our card base, and I chose Pool Party. So I need 5 1/4 by 8 1/2 for my base, which is a half a sheet of paper. So let's see. Let me see if I have an 8 1/2 sheet. Okay, this is 8 1/2, so I just need to cut it to 5 1/4. This is great when you have a lot of little half sheets of paper laying around because you can use this up. All right, so now to create the base, I will have a little cheat sheet for you, and this will be on my blog, so it has kind of all the cutting and scoring so that it makes sense, because there are some diagonal scores that we need to do. So the first thing you're going to do is on the long side, you're going to score it at 4 1/4 inches. So that makes half a card. So now you fold it in half and you've got your basic fold, right? But now we want to do a little extra. So we're going to put the short end, one of the short ends at the top, and we're going to cut it at 1 3/4 inches. And we're only going to cut down to our score line, all right? So you can either start up here and go down, or you could start at your score line and go up. Whatever works best for you is all you need to worry about. So I'm going to do it this way, and I'm just going to go down to where I think I need to stop, and then you can lift up the arm and look and see, and that looks good. And so then you're also going to do this at 3.5 inches. All right. So I'm just going to go down, and then I'll just check it, see if I need to go a little further, and that's that. Okay, so so now I've got my 3 little panels. So now I want to score them at the diagonal. Okay, so I have a corner here and a corner here. So I'm going to just use my paper cutter, and I'm going to line up those edges, and then, oh, I do not have it straight. There we go. Just kind of manipulate it until you've got the corners, and then just give it a score. So you're scoring at the diagonal, and then you're going to do the same thing for the other 2 panels. So, and if it helps, if you have a hard time seeing it, just take your little pencil and you can mark these 2 corners so that it's easier to see, because it is a little tricky to see, especially on lighter paper. So I've got those lined up, and now I'm just going to score it across, and then I'm going to do the last one. This is literally the hardest thing to do on the card, and it's not hard at all. So once you know how to do this, these are a breeze. All right, so now I'm going to just erase these 2 little spots. All right, so that's that. And then we need some designer series paper. So I have chosen this pattern. I really like it. It's so pretty. I mean, any of the patterns are gorgeous, but you need 3 pieces that are 1.5 by 4. So I'm just going to cut, let me see if I have a smaller scrap. Does not look like I do. So I'm going to cut 4 inches, set that aside, and then I'm going to cut 1.5 inches 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now with these, we are going to score them on the diagonal, or I'm sorry, cut them on the diagonal. And you can cut all 3 pieces at once, because the designer series paper is not terribly thick. All right. So I'm going to place this on my cutter, just so my edges, my 2 corners are lined up, and give those a slice. Okay. So now we've got 6 pieces that look like this. All right. Now the last thing we need to do is make the cut the piece for the inside. So you're going to need a piece of basic white. So I have a scrap here. So I'm going to cut that 4 inches by 5 inches. So let's see, 4 inches by 5 inches. Okay, and that is all of our cutting. So as you can see, it's really not hard. Once you've done it, it makes a lot of sense, and it's very easy. So let's go ahead and start assembling our card, and then we will work on decorating. So I've got my 3 panels, and they all fold on the diagonal like that. All right. So I'm going to put them flat for a moment. I'm going to grab my glue. And what I like to do is make sure everything lays out correctly. So there is my bottoms. There's my tops. There's everything. So perfect. Just make sure everything's going to fit right. And then I'm going to grab my liquid glue and just put a little bit on there. And we're going to get this glued up for you real quick. Okay, so there are all of our pieces perfectly placed, so we are good to go on that. So now I like to go ahead and decorate the inside so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to grab these flowers. They're so super pretty. And my stamp block. And some memento ink. And some scratch paper. All right, I'm going to ink this up really well. This is a great card to just do if you need to do a half a dozen cards. This is a fun fold to do it with. You can be so creative with this. So I'm kind of just deciding where I want to put my flowers. I'm going to put it about right here and stamp it down. All right, that's super pretty. And then I'm going to color them in. And I'm going to color these a little bit later because I don't want to waste your time coloring. So we'll do that in a little while. But right now I just want to kind of show you what I'm doing. So now that let's pretend it's decorated. I'm going to go ahead and place it on the inside. Now, if you want, you could add another layer of color behind this and do triple layers of color. That would be super pretty, but I'm just going to do this piece for now. And I just filled my glue bottle up, so it's pretty juicy. All right. I'm going to lay this down. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to close up my top, and I'm going to give it a little crease with the bone folder, make sure everything's nice and creased. All right, and now I want to do some decorating on the outside. So before we came on, I went ahead and did some cutting and coloring. Where did I put them? You know, this is an ongoing issue for me because I live in such a small space. Ha, here we go. And look at this. I have a piece already colored. Well then, can I take that off? Let's see if I can take this off. Nope. All right. This is exactly the same size. I'm going to put it on top of it. Sometimes I'm more efficient than I realize. I had already colored it. I must have done that the other day. All right, so I'm just putting this layer right over top so that I'm happy and you can see the finished product. There we go. Perfect. All right, so there's the inside. It's all done. So now we're going to decorate the outside. So what I did is I colored and die cut. That's the same stamp. So I colored it and there is a die to cut it out. So I created that. And then I die cut and colored this beautiful little piece here. This is Pop of Petunia, I believe. And we've got some Pool Party and we've got some Peach Pie. All right. And so then I also die cut and colored in this bucket and put the flower market stamp on top. And this is with Smoky Slate, and I used the alcohol blend so I could do some shading. So these two pieces are going to go together. And then I used the Stylish Shapes die and some paper from the Birdhouse suite of products that look like wood, which I thought went really well with this. And I die cut that, and then I stamped Sending Love and die cut it with the smaller die. So these fit together perfectly. So that is how I'm going to place them. So when you're going to place these decorations on this type of card, what you want to be mindful of is you don't want, when the card is closed, you don't want anything sticking up over the top of your card. Okay? So that way it fits in the envelope nicely. So let's go ahead and start at the top. And what I want to do is, I know I want to have these here in the middle. So I think what I'm going to do is stagger and put my flowers over here. So I'm going to start out with this piece, and I only want to put glue down here. I don't want any glue up here because then it's not going to open, right? So I just kind of put my fingernail where I know I don't want glue to go past and just stick some glue on there. All right. And so now I'm going to place that on there, and I'm just going to make sure that it's not going to go above the top of the card. All right. And see, so I don't have any glue on the back, and it'll stand up just fine. And I did notice on this particular stamp, I have to make this go below the paper. If it bothers you, cut it off. I really don't think it's that big of a deal because it doesn't really hinder it opening, so I'm going to leave it alone, but you can cut that off if you want. All right, so then the next panel is going to have my bucket and my flowers, and I'm feeling sticky, so where is my silicone craft sheet? Put that out a little bit. So I'm going to place these flowers onto this bucket, and I know I'm just going to need to put the glue sort of toward the bottom, so I'm going to put it directly on here on this piece, and then I'm just going to put my flowers on there like that. Okay, and give them a second to dry, but that's on there really well. All right, and so now I know I'm going to place that over here, and what I'm kind of envisioning is when this is all open, everything's kind of staggered nicely. So this is going to go over here. Now you could use some dimensionals if you wanted to. I don't think it's necessary personally on this card, so I'm just going to add some glue, just like that. Whoops, a little too much. All right, and now I'm going to place that right here. And then I always kind of look on the back and make sure there's no glue back there. There's not, because I don't want to glue everything together. That would be tragic. All right, and so then the last piece is our message. So I think for this, I'm going to use some dimensionals behind this piece. My hands are sticky. All right. So I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back here. That one's a little wonky. See if I can take it off. If you don't push them down right away, you can take them off and reposition them. I got that one kind of out of alignment. There we go. It's the beauty of this take your pick tool. It's my third arm. Okay, so now that these are on, I'm just going to lay that down right here. Gosh, you know, some ribbon would be really cute. Do I have anything on my table already? I think I have some linen twine. I think linen twine would be really pretty on this. I'm going to just cut some. Now, if you find your twine is all wonky like this, I wet my finger and just run it on there, and it takes some of that out. So there's a little trick for you if you have a problem with that happening. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some sticking out over here. I know it looks really ugly on the back, but you're not going to see it, so it's fine. And then I'm just kind of manipulating this. There you go. All right. And now I'm going to lay it right down. And the dimensionals will hold your string in place. Cute. All right, so now I'm going to place this onto my front panel. And I just kind of figure out where I want it, and I know I just want glue here. So I'm going to flip it over and just do that. Okay. Now I'm going to put this in place right where I want it. And then I'm going to check the back. We are solid. We are good. All right, so we have our 3 panels on there. So the only thing we have left is we want to put something as a stopper to keep everything open. So I have somewhere around here. You know, today has been one of those days where I just keep losing things. Let me get my embellishments. All right, let's grab these. These will be good. I'm going to use these adhesive back pearl trios. You want to use something that's got a little bit of height to it. It'll just help the cardstock grab on. And these are super pretty and they match the colors in the paper. So I'm going to grab these. I'm going to put one over this flower right here. And that sits perfectly. And then I'm going to, what I do is I'll kind of put them where I think they need to be, and then lay the little dot down. And you can move it if you need to. Like that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to get this last one out, bend this up, and then put that one where I think looks good. And then if you want to, you can actually, once you know where you're going to put it, you can kind of try to line them up a little bit, just so they look nice and neat. All right. So those look good. Takes a little manipulating and folding and stuff, but once you have it on there, it works out really well. Sometimes you don't even need them. There we go. All right, so let me move this out of the way. That was pretty simple, right? It looks like an intricate fold, but it's really not. It's really pretty easy to do. So here is what we just made. Gorgeous, right? So as I mentioned, everything lays flat, perfectly flat, and it will fit in the envelope. And then when they get their card, they just prop it open. All right, so there is sample number 1. Here's sample number 2. This is from the Hearts and Hugs set and the brand new 2024 in color, 2024 to 2026 in color designer series paper. I love this pattern. And this is the brand new Shy Shamrock shade, and then the Pretty in Pink as well. And then I use the Pretty in Pink marker to color that heart, and the Smoky Slate to color in the little critters. And then the saying comes from the stamp set, the same stamp set, and then I die cut these little flowers. So on the inside, there are some little flower dies in the die set. So I cut out some extra flowers and put dimensionals on them, and then those make the perfect stoppers. So this one's super cute, and the sayings come from the Unbound Love stamp set. Happy birthday, may all your wishes come true. And on the front, of course, it says you are loved. So these little hearts made the perfect little stoppers for this card. And then my last sample has 0 stamping whatsoever. And this comes from the ephemera packs that are brand new and Stampin' Up! For that person who wants to make a really cute card but doesn't want to have a million products. These are all punches. These all punched out from the ephemera packs. I'll show them to you in a minute. And then I just use some embellishments, of course, to prop it open. But it says you are the icing on the cake, with a little slice of cake and these little strawberries. And this paper comes from the last year's Glorious Gingham 6x6 designer series paper. And I loved this, I think it's lemon lime twist. And then inside, I used a couple of pieces from the ephemera pack. It's Make-A-Wish and the cake slice again. So no stamping at all. We just used a couple of pieces of cardstock and punched out all of those pieces. Let me show you that ephemera pack. Super, super cute. Let me get these actually in the camera too. That would probably be helpful, right? So this is the I did a video. I don't know when I'm going to post it. I did a video yesterday. I haven't decided if I'll post it before this card or after. But the ephemera pack, I have 3. So this is the sayings pack, and it has tons and tons of sayings. You just punch them out. And then there's a pack of 2 packs of just all kinds of occasions: birthdays, hobbies, fishing, sailing, Southwest, just all kind of fun stuff like that. And then there's a 3rd pack that I purchased that is flowers. And you get lots and lots of sheets, 2 sheets of everything. So the flowers has tons and tons of flowers. And then there's a 4th pack, which I'm kicking myself. I totally forgot to order, but I will be adding to my order. And it is shapes like tags and shapes and things that you can layer all of these pieces behind. So those ephemera packs are great, and they make a fun activity if you have people over and you want to socialize but create something. Ephemera packs are the way to go. So I hope you like these samples. I will have the template along with the cutting instructions and everything linked below, and there'll also be a link to my online store. So I hope you get a chance to try this really cool fun fold. When I first saw it, I thought it was going to be really hard, but it's super, super simple and a lot of fun to play around with, and I think you'll like it. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video, and I will see you next Wednesday. I am Jill the Wandering Stamper. Please take some time to craft today. See you next time.